Welcome to another episode of The Thinking Tofu. I'm your host, The Thinking Tofu. So I ordered some Moscato for a birthday picnic to celebrate my church friend's birthday. It was the Michele Chiaro Moscato di Asti Nivole, which was a dessert wine that has strong notes of peach and apricots. So the first time I actually came across this bottle of Moscato was actually when my ex-girlfriend and I celebrated New Year's Eve of 2020 during the lockdown in London. I still remember her searching everywhere on Google for this exact brand of Moscato that she usually drank during New Year's Eve when she celebrate with her family. And she jumped for joy when she finally found it on the website and ordered it to her apartment. I remember that she was so worried that the Moscato couldn't arrive on time, so I tried to make something that might be close to the taste of it. So I went down to Marks and Spencer and tried to find some champagne and peach and apricot slush, and I think that if I could mix these two together, it might make her happy even if the Moscato couldn't arrive. And in the end it did arrive, and I saw her jumping for joy and with a face full of satisfaction as she drank the glass of it. I looked at her indulging face as I drank it as well, and it was such a nice taste. It was very fruity. It's the taste of passion, it's the taste of love and new beginnings. It was very exciting and fulfilling for me, as that was the first time I celebrated New Year's Eve with my ex-girlfriend alone, because for the past 5 years she had to celebrate with her family. I always wanted to celebrate with her alone, like just the two of us, but little did I know that that was also the last year that I am spending New Year's Eve with her, and I would never have the chance again. So the Moscato that I ordered was probably the only good wine that I know of. Not that it was the best dessert wine I've ever drunk, but that's the only one that I remember the brand name and the label. That's why I ordered it. I was lucky to find this specific brand of wine in Hong Kong TV Mall, and I ordered 3 bottles of it, 2 for the picnic and 1 for my dad's birthday. I was pretty excited to drink it at the picnic, and when I get to the picnic, everyone was like, "Wow, look at that fancy wine," and I proudly explained to them why I think this wine tastes good and what kind of flavor they might taste, almost thinking that I was some kind of sommelier. And I poured the wine into these plastic cups and we drank it, and it tastes like honey, which is weird because I didn't remember that it tastes like honey. I mean, did I even order the right brand? I mean, I'm pretty sure I did because I remember the label vividly. So I guess how we view our memories influences how we re-experience our past. To be honest, I don't think I really gave much attention to the wine back on New Year's Eve of 2020. Maybe I took it for granted. In fact, I took a lot of things for granted. Always thinking that things would stay the same forever, both the good and the bad. And once we lose something, the thing we lost becomes the most precious thing that we want, and almost the only thing that we want in life. I think this is especially true for relationships and people. I mean, other things in life, you can always try to get them back. Like, if you lose an object, you can probably buy it again. If you lose your job, you can always try to apply again when you have, better equip yourself. But relationships, it's not really up to you. No matter how hard you have tried, what is broken, and what is lost. if the person doesn't want to be with you, then I mean, no matter how much you force her, you can't really force someone to be with you. I used to think that time is the most precious thing in this world. You can never retrieve lost time, right? It's like a natural fact. But now I think that relationships, especially the ones that you enjoy, are most precious, even more precious than time. Perhaps because without these relationships, no matter how much time you have, you can't really enjoy the time. And in a way, the time you don't enjoy feels like time is wasted. So it seems wiser if we can enjoy every moment that we have, don't you think? But it's also very difficult to not look at the past through the Moscato glass. It's my term for rosy glasses. I really want to know how people can look at the past without having this rosy nostalgia. Because as far as I know, I've always had a nostalgia for the things in the past, and I've always longed to go back. To me, the things are always better in the past. Life was less, worrying. There was less worry, and it was more carefree. I mean, just like wine, we always want to get the bottles that are made in older years rather than recent years, right? I mean, I really want to know, do you guys feel the same? Do you guys need to put a lot of effort to not view the past with the Moscato glass? Or is it natural for you guys to think that your days ahead are better than the days behind you? But yeah, back to the Moscato. I thought I would enjoy it. Maybe I was trying to recreate what I thought was a good moment in the past. That New Year's Eve with my ex, basically. But tasting this unexpected taste of honey instead of the peach and apricot that I've predicted has caused me to question what I actually tasted that night. It made me reevaluate if I actually liked it back then. I mean, was the relationship good or bad? For people who have experienced breakups, have you guys tried to evaluate whether a past relationship was actually good or bad? Were there a lot of good times? I mean, there certainly were to me. To me, most of it was good. But I guess my ex didn't think of it that way. Because if she did, then she would have stayed, right? There were also a lot of bad times, of course. Sometimes even suffocating. Sometimes I would doubt whether I should continue, usually after some really harsh arguments. Sometimes I would look back and I would think we didn't have the same values and we don't communicate in the same channel. But looking back, I see that I was actually very immature. I didn't know how to handle her emotions or how to really look at things from her point of view. I didn't know how to give her emotional security. I mean, with hindsight, it was such an easy thing to do, to just acknowledge her emotions. But it's after the breakup that I finally understand it, that there are no right or wrong emotions. There is no right way to feel about certain things. I've always disregarded her emotions when she would tell me something, and I would think that she was trying to blame stuff on me. I would tell her, hey, you shouldn't feel this way. But maybe she was just trying to share her emotions with me, and all she wanted was to be understood. It's really ironic now that I get to feel what she has gone through, that feeling of not being able to share, not being understood. But I guess it's all too late now. But back to the question, was the relationship good or bad? I mean, why does this question even matter? Maybe it is because if the answer to this question is no, then it would be easier to let go. I keep asking myself this question every day, evaluating all the small things, all the small details that has happened in the past, and comparing it to what's happening in my life right now. And I don't really have the answer. It feels like it is the best thing that happened to me. I mean, it feels like the relationship back then was the best thing that happened to me. Maybe the Moscato wasn't actually that good. Maybe it was just my memory messing with me. Maybe it did taste like weird honey back then, too sweet to be true. I hope it's really the case that the wine really didn't taste that good in the first place. So yeah, what do you guys think about, memories and how we see past experiences? Do you try really hard to not see it in a very nostalgic, rosy, Moscato kind of glasses? Or is it really natural for you guys to, think that your best days are actually ahead and not behind you? I would really love to know. Comment below if you have any insight into this. And thank you for listening to this podcast.